Right, 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 good eye. Right. No, you are not looking at Russell Crowe. You are not looking at Paul Hogan. You are not looking at Errol Flynn. You are not looking at the late Olivia Newton-John. Um, you are looking at Ben Rosenthal, and welcome to AM Whiskey Reviews. I decided it was gonna break the hat out and take a trip down under, where people say, "Put shrimp on the barbie," right? Things like that, where people occasionally, you say hello by headbutting somebody. Um, there's a lot of there's surfing down there. Um, there's evidently Sydney has an opera house. Who knew that they dig opera down there? But they do. Um, they evidently have all of the 20th century, 21st century, now new millennium trimmings that we enjoy up here, even though they're way, way down there. They're down. They're under Japan. They are under Japan. Um, and that's, I mean, that's they're really, really far south. So what? Whoa, geez, something's wrong with this can. Oh, okay. The can weighs so much that it toppled. It actually toppled the phone. All right, so let's commence, okay? I know it's a whiskey review. One of the things I want to tell everybody, if I seem especially ebullient today, if I seem to be have a kind of a buoyant spirit, I spent the morning squashing lantern bugs. I know that this is sort of the dictum from on high, the dictate rather, that we go out, we kill these bugs wherever we see them. Um, they are very destructive to the trees. And so what I did was every bug I encountered, I recited Joyce Kilmer's trees. I think that I shall never see a poem lovely as a tree. And then bam. And I wore some special boots, some steel-toed boots for these guys. It's all about the trees. It's not some sadism on my part, but what it did was it lifted my spirits and it made me feel like, it's have a beer. And don't just have a beer, have a beer from a country where people seem to be remarkably happy for the descendants of criminals. Universally, just the criminals. And it kind of gives the lie to the idea of a kind of ancestral memory. This idea that, your relatives way back suffered and you inherited the trauma. They don't. They seem really happy. Anyway, I'm going to crack this beer right now and hope that it doesn't. Oh, there we go. All right. Here we go. Classic Foster's. Okay. Cat's trying. Definitely, I'm getting notes of. I'm getting notes right on the tongue. They're the notes of men in a Range Rover. The top is down. They've got a kind of Kalashnikov mounted on the roll bar, and they're tearing through the brush, and they're just taking out kangaroos. They're just poaching everything. They're like, they see a wombat and they're like, well, that's got to go. If there's a koala On a eucalyptus, they just take the whole tree out. They just boom, 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 like that. And God damn these animals. Um, See, I kind of wish I had that Kalashnikov right now. Um, and so, yeah, there's just, no regard for any of the foliage or anything. They hear the call of the outback bound, and they're just taking everything out. I'm getting a lot of notes of that. I'm starting to get feline notes here, as you can see. Um, uh, I'm getting yeah, yeah. The car, the Range Rover is just spitting oil all over the place. It's just spitting oil. The dingoes are lapping up the oil, and then they're getting sick. They're heaving over. Um, these are some of the notes that I'm getting, the primary notes. And we'll see if those notes change. Sometimes they evolve in your mouth. No, no, definitely Range Rover tearing through the outback hasn't changed. Just animals are dying everywhere, roar, and then they get back to, whatever sort of semi-roofed. Half of it's got a roof, the other, maybe it's a lean-to, whatever bar passes for a bar, and then they're boom with a headbutting. Um, Okay, what would I pair this with? I would pair this with uh, maybe the joy you have from knowing that the surfboard you were on took the worst of the shark bite. So I would pair it with the joy you have from surviving a shark bite. Um, I would pair it with uh, maybe the pleasure you have from what else? What goes on there? Like, what do they do? I don't even know what goes on in Australia. Do they produce? Do they have a product they produce? Like what they have yams. They have a lot of very rugged food. I would pair this with something extremely rugged. Um, Again, maybe you survived the bite of a box jellyfish. Maybe you survived 6 or 7 rapacious dogs that free roaming dogs. Maybe you pair it with the joy you have from having insulted a New Zealander whose accent is strikingly similar to yours. Um, I think that all these things would pair well with Foster's lager. Um, okay, I want to thank all of you for joining me, and I know that. Oh, you know, I might you might pair it with the lead singer of Men at Work. If you can get a hold, his name is Colin Hay. You pair it with him. You got your Crowded House. You could pair it with the lead singer of Crowded House. Um, you could pair it with, I don't know, Midnight Oil. I'm trying to think of other Australian music. Obviously, Olivia Newton-John's a little dainty for this beer, but um, I don't know. I mean, she deserves it. If anybody deserves it right now, it's Olivia Newton-John. So, cheers to Olivia Newton-John. Cheers to lantern bugs. In any case, thank you again for joining me. And so we say, no worries. Oh! And I don't know what they say for over and out, but I hope to see you next time.